Hey, and welcome to FitMitTuro Fitness Podcast, a podcast for people who want to get no BS information about fitness and know that fitness is about so much more than losing scale weight. It's about feeling confident in your skin and empowered in your life. I'm your host, Turo Virta, personal trainer, strength and nutrition coach, and most of all, a husband of my beautiful wife, Miriam. Each week, my guests and me will give you some no BS fitness tips and motivate you to take action in your own personal fitness journey as we talk about nutrition, exercise, mindset, personal development, and executing in life with enjoyable but still effective strategies. If your goal is to look better, feel and be strong and experience transformation from inside out, you, my friend, are in the right place. Thank you for jumping in, and now let's jump into today's episode. Hey, and welcome to this FitMitTuro Fitness Podcast. Today, I'm talking about how to avoid the most common mistakes going into 2024. So how to keep your focus on your health and actually achieve your goals in 2024. So in this episode, I'm talking about the most common mistakes and how to actually avoid them. And a little bit about my personal story as I was planning originally to focus really on getting stronger and started actually following a program focusing on powerlifting. And as I'm recording this episode yesterday, I was visiting in my cardiologist there was during COVID times, I was diagnosed after having a COVID, doing some echocardio test. I was diagnosed that my aorta is enlarged, and unfortunately now after 2 years it have enlarged even a little bit more. So that made me think I was already aware of this. It's still nothing like to worry about too much, or obviously it's a big concern, but just it's basically something what you don't usually even know. And I'm so happy that I did that test at some point, or it was by accident. So they found it. So now I can actually still impact that to avoid all kind of possible things what can happen in future. So basically what I need to be avoiding is heavy lifting, and that is something what is really hard to accept at the moment. But I'm going to adjust my own plan according to this plan, and still not going to quit resistance training, but just going to adjust my plan. What makes sense, as I should be avoiding kind of isometric exercises where you have to hold your breath. So it includes obviously heavy weights, but there is some form of resistance training I obviously can still do without focusing. It just means lowering weights, doing more repetitions, and just forgetting about hitting personal best. But as age of turning 42 in soon, so it's not that have never been actually my goal anymore. So it's just an example how you might need to adjust your goals as we age. Things are happening. You know, life is always, there is always something what you never know what is going to happen. And it just means that you need to adjust your plan. So what I was doing earlier and what kept me motivated, I will tell a little bit background about my own training, how I like to do it. And then later on, I will tell you how to actually how you can avoid and start planning your goals for 2024. So I'm always, for me personally, at the moment, I don't have any like kind of weight loss goals. I have found kind of sustainable ways and simple habits how I can maintain my body weight. And I'm focusing basically, I have goals, like I said, performance-based goals, like getting stronger, improving cardio. And with strength training, I love to use them like in different phases, so that I'm not trying to focus on everything at the same time, because those goals like getting stronger, losing fat, improving your endurance, even they are all great goals. If you try to do them at the same time, everything, it's like that they are so different goals that your body doesn't understand what you are actually going to tell, because they are different signals. So for example, if your goal is to improve your endurance and improve your strength, the most beneficial way is not to try to do them everything. Instead, if you focus, for example, for month, 2 months, 3 months for getting stronger, then next 2-3 months for improving your endurance, and next 2-3 months for fat loss, then there are very good chances that you are reaching all those your goals. But when you are not focusing in like longer period of time, when you are not focusing on everything, trying to do kind of everything at the same time, and this is not applying, especially if you are brand new, you haven't been doing anything, it's possible to reach kind of everything at the same time, as everything is new for your body. But longer you are doing this, more you have to pay attention about kind of periodization and focusing just on simple things or different things each time. So, and it makes it, for me personally, it's mentally, it's so much giving so much more motivation, kind of, that you are not doing the same thing all the time. So you change your goals consistently, and then in a longer period of time, now after doing this for around a year or 2 years, I'm probably in a lot better place than I used to be when I was, for example, when I was younger, I was playing ice hockey. I was kind of trying to do everything and kind of compensate with the volumes, like working harder instead of working smarter. And now with the experience, you can get so much more out of it by doing less, when you just focus on the most important things and work kind of smarter instead of trying to work harder. And when you set these your goals differently, it has been game changer for me, and I bet it will be game changer for you. So but then let's get into these most common mistakes. So number one is having a timeline. And I don't mean with the timeline that I need to, for example, if your goal is to lose fat or lose weight, I need to lose weight by, and you have some deadline when you have to lose it. So even it's a good goal, I love to use it, and for some people it works, but I would not recommend to set the timeline for your weight loss goals, because what is going to happen if you are going to actually, let's say that your goal is to lose 20 pounds, and there is you still need to lose 10 pounds, but you don't have too much time left. So you are going to use probably like unsustainable methods. And even you reach that your ultimate goal within a timeline, there are very good chances that you are not going to maintain that your goal, because those your actions were not sustainable. So don't set the timeline for your weight loss goal. And I mean with the timeline that you are putting kind of a period of time that you are going to put plan into place. So if it's going to be maybe 8 weeks, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months. And the reason why this is so important, because you have to have kind of end in a sight and something to work towards. Because otherwise, if you don't have that kind of end line or deadline, there is a big chance that you are going to diet forever, or you are going to feel like that what's the point of doing this if you don't have that deadline. It's a great example is end of the year or Christmas. Like you know that it's coming, and if you miss your Christmas preparation, you don't have foods or everything ready. It's just that you can't just postpone it. It's you can say that I do it in 2 months. And it's the same thing with the end of the year. Like if you are entrepreneur or in a work that you have a deadline for taxes or whatever, it's end of the year, and those things have to be done before that. So you are likely to push toward and seeing that when it's done, it's kind of end line is there, and it's more likely that you're going to actually take action. For example, this is a great example. I'm going to start in January 8th, my 8-week challenge, where I'm going to create individual plans for everyone. Like we are talking about setting your personal goals, like what actually makes sense for you in your individual situation. And then I will create individual plan for you. So you have a action, you have a goal, you have a timeline. It's going to be 8 weeks, and you work towards that goal for those 8 weeks. And then obviously it's not going to be that after 8 weeks that you are done, you can just quit. The goal is obviously always that you keep working. You set the next goal, you are working towards next goal for the next 8, 12 weeks or whatever. And then this way you are more likely to stay actually consistent throughout the year and prioritize your own health. So this is just an example what most people are doing, like that they don't have timeline, or they don't they have a goal like what is not action based, and it's like some weight loss. What is very common to have a weight loss goal that I need to lose weight 25 pounds until end of March. And that is not the best way to do it. Trust me, if you hopefully you get the point what I mean. Then mistake number 2, what I see often is that you set your goals like just losing weight. And even this is a great losing weight, even obviously it's the ultimate goal, but it's not action-based goal. And you should be setting your goals by actions. And those are like weight loss goals, even those that losing weight is a great goal to have. But if it's something what you can't impact on your daily actions. And because it doesn't matter, there will be always days that even you do everything according to your plan, you are doing everything you can, but you are not losing weight, because there might be several reasons for that. I'm not going to be too much deeper on those reasons, but could be that you are starting strength training. You have had some harder workout, which you have damaged your muscle tissues, and you are actually your body to repair that damaged muscle tissue from your strength training or your hard workout. Your body needs to repair that muscle tissue, and during that process, it holds temporarily more water in your muscles. So you're going to hold, your body holds temporarily more water, so you don't see the scale moving, or you had a like some high carb dinner night before, you still were in a calorie deficit, but as a result, as carbs are stored as a form of glycogen in your body, and now that glycogen, every gram of glycogen needs to store 3-4 grams of water, so your scale weight is going up. Even you are in a calorie deficit, you might be losing fat, but you are gaining scale weight, or you don't lose it every single day. So there are just a few examples why you can't impact always your weight by your actions. And this is what these action-based goals, I like to keep them very simple and basic. For example, getting 10 to 15 minute walk, preparing your breakfast each day, or making sure that you have a protein shake or some kind of high protein snack middle of the day when you usually get hungry. And these kind of goals, like or preparing your protein sources for the next day. So these are simple action-based goals. What are not that sexy. What you probably, if you think that other goals, like, what most people are doing, it are cutting like that, you are cutting all your carbs, or you are cutting all your sugars. So those are very common goals, but I don't often, or for almost any people, I don't recommend setting that kind of action-based goals, because what are those? Because they are simple. Your action-based goals should be simple. They should be repeatable. So if you can't repeat them over and over, you are not going to be consistent. And that kind of thing, like that, what I love to say, that if you can't, whatever goals you are going to set, if you can't imagine to do it at least 3 to 5 years from now, it's probably not going to be solution what's going to make you maintain your lost weight, because you might be able to lose weight if you, let's say, you decide to cut all carbs or cut all sugars. But if you can't imagine that I can live with that without sugars for the next 3 years, it's probably not going to be consistent. You are not going to be consistent, and you are not probably going to reach your goals, or even you reach your goals, you're not going to be able to maintain them. So this is why it's so unsexy, but don't pick too many goals. Like those action-based goals, like I mentioned, I gave you examples. I will give you more examples, for example, in my upcoming 8-week challenge. But if you pick maximum 5 goals, like it could be simple 1 goal, 2 goals, 3, but not more than 5. Because if you, especially in the beginning, this is often what I used to do a mistake when I tell a quick story about when I was a new coach. And usually you can imagine if somebody is contacting me, they want to kind of start training. And then often they are very, very motivated that now it's time that something have happened, and you find some motivation. And when they come to me, people think that now I'm paying for coach or I'm getting accountability. Now it's time to get started, and I better use it as an advantage to get most out of my money and this opportunity to work with the coach. So we start with the 5 workouts in a week, aiming to eat as big deficit as possible, cutting everything out. And then I was like, in the beginning, I was like that, oh yeah, that person is motivated and let's do it. I was thinking like that, okay, when I'm doing, like I was selfishly thinking that, we get a great transformation, what you see all over internet, that only 8 weeks lost this much weight and amazing transformation before after pictures. And then obviously what happened was that I was happy to set workout for a person who didn't work out 5-6 times a week. And first 2 weeks, she was doing everything perfectly. But then suddenly I just didn't hear anything anymore from her. And then I was just, in the beginning, I was thinking that, what is wrong with that person? Did she lose some motivation, or why she's not just able to stick with the plan? Until I realized that I was the one who fucked this up. I should never ever let someone to start working out from 0 to 5-6 times a week, because obviously how you are going to feel, you are going to be so sore that you can't walk. You don't have any enjoyment to do this. And then I understood that it was me who did a mistake. And now with the experience, I would say that if you have those 3 goals, for example, with the training, I rather start something that what is not what you could be on your ideal day, but what you can be sure that you can do in your worst day. Or like that it's kind of, if I use scale from 1 to 10, that it's around 8 or 7, that it feels like that it's a little challenge, little push for yourself, but not that it's going to be 10 out of 10, that everything have to go perfectly. But then, if something happens, your boss is calling you that there is some work to finish, and you have a deadline for that, and you can't work out. So you probably are how you are going to feel about yourself, that when you can't keep those promises for yourself, you are thinking that what is wrong with me? I just can't do it. My life is crazy. So instead, when you pick those goals that you can do in your worst days, and they feel kind of too easy, especially for the first month, because then when you are able to keep promises you make to yourself and you are able to achieve those goals, then you feel so much better, so much more confident about yourself. And then after a month, you can start adding more things if you still feel like it. But usually first month, because ultimately, what is the goal with these things like that? Because that consistency is the key for everything. So if you get just enough results to keep motivated, to have that kind of progress, what keeps you going. So what is the point doing more? Because this fitness and health journey, this is not a race. This is meant to be for life. And sooner you understand it, better you will be. So then mistake number 3, and we talked about these actionable goals. So part number 3 is that setting consistency-based goals around your action-based goals. So think it like I mentioned a little bit earlier about that consistency, that it makes everything. So it doesn't matter if you are able to work out perfectly for a month, and then next month when you can't do it perfectly, you don't do it at all because there is something happening in your life. And then, you are waiting for the best time to get started over, because now it doesn't make point. There is no point keep going when everything is not perfect. Like those, this is kind of mindset what I struggled myself to, kind of all in or nothing. But to get rid of it, it's just the simply understanding that there is not single person who is perfect. They might look perfectly consistent or perfect in their Instagram feed or in social media, but trust me, there is not single person who is not struggling or who is not having those moments when you don't feel like working out. Or I don't know anyone who is always crushing it, workouts and posting pictures. There is all persons who I work, that there is not single one who is telling that it's every day, it's easy, it's simple to do, because it honestly, it's not. But when you set those kind of actionable goals, like, so now you have, when you have that timeline, if it's 8 weeks, if it's 3 months, you have your action-based goals, like not more than 5. Now it's time to set your consistency goal. So for example, if you want to be 80% consistent with your preparing your breakfast each day, or hitting your 3 workouts in a week, or whatever, if it's preparing your protein sources, whatever action-based goal you have hit, that's 25 days of 21 in January. So if your goal is to prepare your breakfast, so it doesn't mean that you have to prepare your breakfast for 31 days. But if you want to get some kind of results, and being able to say that I was consistent with those goals, what I set for myself, 25 days. So you can miss it still 6 days of 31, and you are still consistent enough to see results. And if you do more, cool. But at least that 80% consistency. So, or if you want to be 80% consistent with your 10-minute walk, or those 3 workouts, that would be, you get done not all 3 workouts, but you get 10 out of 12 workouts done. So these are just examples how to get consistency, not perfection plan for your goal. So this is what I usually tell, that it's that kind of 80% consistency. It's kind of a sweet spot where you don't have to be perfect, because you understand that there is something happening in your life, but you are also not too inconsistent, so you don't see progress. So this 80%, and this was something what I used in my membership, for example, in this month of December, was just simply consistency goal, and picking those goals and tracking it, because what you are tracking, you are more likely to take action. So to keep it very simple, it's just because December is a month for many people that we are kind of falling off from bandwagon, and we are not able to reach our goals or tell or do those things what we promise to ourselves. But when you are aiming for 80% consistency, you still have those 25 days. So in Christmas, for example, in December, there is time, like you can have your freedom, you can have your you can allow yourself to enjoy also time with your family, enjoy holidays, but it's still possible to hit even that 80% consistency. And even if it's 70%, that's still okay for a month of December, when it's for most people, consistency is probably like 10-20% or close to 0. So these are just the importance of consistency, because when you are able to hit your goals consistently, it's only a matter of time when you are going to reach also your goals. So part number 4 is about tracking. So I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but this is next point, is that there is, because why you should be tracking your things, what you are actually doing, because there is so much amount of research that will prove that if you write down your goals, you track them to day-to-day basis, your results are going to be skyrocketed. So you are going to, it's amazing progress. I can't remember now what was there is how many percentages it's more, like I think it was even like a 60% increased chances, or even more. It was 65, whatever. But it's incredible high amount of what studies show that when you actually write them down and track them, like it's I can use my personal example for my steps. When I have my watch where I see every day my steps, I see my weekly step goal. And if I see trend, because I'm kind of tracking it. I'm not looking at every single day, but if I look month by month or week by week, how many steps I have took, or when we do in our membership coaching, like steps challenges, those are the weeks when people are more likely to hit those goals, when they have a actionable goal for a week and they are actually following it through and making sure that, you have a deadline. Like this is why I love to use these kind of challenges in my membership and in coaching, like weekly challenges, just the one thing what you are going to do. So you don't have, it's not that, you have to do 5 different things, but some weeks it's, for example, one simple exercise, like doing planks or push-ups or squats or whatever. And other weeks it's focusing on protein or some other nutritional habits. Other weeks it's just simply drinking enough water. Some weeks it's hitting your step goal. So, and when you are tracking that goal, what you make, it's you are just going to be more likely to actually achieve it. So this is why in all my programs, we are doing them. We are in a Facebook group. We are there, like those people. What I have seen is that when you are actually writing it down, you are telling it in public. There is a possibility to post even without your name. So if you don't want to post publicly with that somebody else is seeing your name, you can post it just but without any name, that nobody knows who it is. But it's just a way to keep yourself accountable and to keep others, because it's so supportive group of people who are keeping you accountable, and most of all, you are keeping yourself accountable. So again, so if you are not trying to do it perfectly, so you are aiming whatever your consistency goals are. So if you are off one day, it doesn't matter that you have fucked this whole thing up. It's just that it's a normal thing to happen, and you pick it back in the next day, and you are back on it, and you still have couple those days what you can have, but to reach your goals. And but I highly recommend you must track them. So what is getting tracked? Like it's the same thing, like kind of thing if you think it like with your finances. If your goal is to save money and you are not tracking how much you are spending, how much you are earning, there is a good chance that you will not reach your saving goals if you don't track them. But if you track them, you look where you are spending your money, how much you are getting in, there is a lot bigger chances that you are actually able to save and see why it's happening, that there is going more money out than coming in. So it's exactly the same thing with all these kind of fitness goals, that you need to track them somehow. So whatever goals you are doing, like it could be just a simple calendar of the month, and you put red X when you didn't reach your goal, and you put green X or circle when you hit your goal. So this kind of consistency calendar or tracking calendar somehow, what is helping you massively. And all those tools I have available in all my coaching services, so you don't need to worry about them, how to actually do them. And then if you are interested. But number 5, so this is what I mentioned a little bit again in this tracking part, is the mistake what most people have is that they don't have any accountability. So you need to have some kind of external accountability, because if you are kind of just you are going to do it for yourself. So for some people, they are very good at it, but for most people, you need to have somebody, or even those people who think that I'm able to do it alone. But if you are really honest with yourself, how many times you are going to lie to yourself, or how many times you are going to talk yourself out of it, or maybe you are even beating yourself up too much when you are not perfect. So, and that all is leading that you are going to quit. So this is what matters, that somebody is like much more than you believe, that when you have somebody who is keeping you accountable. And if you think, it could be that accountability, it could be obviously having some coach or some external, like for example in my coaching program, accountability is in Facebook group. So there is people who are exactly in the same situation, and so they are kind of like us. If you have, for example, your spouse or partner is not very supportive with your goals, you are part of the group who are trying to reach kind of same goals or similar health goals, and they have same struggles. So when you know that you are not alone, there are many people who are having exactly the same struggles than you. So it's more likely to be connected, and understanding also like when you can share your wins. Because what is the one of the biggest mistakes I see, that most of the people, they are very good at celebrating others. They are giving credit to other people, but then when they are actually themselves, they are doing something like, for example, hitting your action-based goals or workouts for consistently enough for a month, you are like, that's a normal thing, what is expected to do. But if it's something what happened, like it's the first time ever that you have stayed consistent for a whole month, it's time to celebrate for yourself. And if you don't allow yourself, if you don't celebrate your wins, it's you are going to make it so much harder for yourself. So think it, and also obviously if there is, of course, if there's some kind of struggles that everything just feels hard, you might be even sharing those, that you can understand that everything is like us. If you look social media, there is almost like 90% of people, they are posting only wins when everything is good, but very few people who are sharing actually their struggles, what is really going on, what is happening, because it's not always everything's just high fives and everything is going well, or it's easy to get your steps in or workouts in, or preparing your meals if you have some other priorities and life to live. So this kind of extra accountability, that is a game changer for many people. And it can be, I know that it can be very scary. Like for me, my personal thing, I was, for example, posting in social media. I was really struggling, especially in the beginning. Like I couldn't talk in front of camera. It was very scary for me. But then when I participated for programs where were other coaches, and got the accountability there, and saw that I'm not alone. There are so many people who are struggling with exactly the same problems. It got me so much more like in that headspace that I'm going to do it. I'm able to do it also. If that person is able to do it, and when you see then some kind of success stories or some struggle stories, that how everything is like, for me was so motivating when I saw like people who were exactly the same situation than me. And then just through consistency, because if I think like a social media, for example, obviously that's the place where most of the people like they are connecting you with somehow, or they feel like that you are honest person or kind person who is giving their heart out to help you, and you feel like that person can actually help me to feel better and to make progress, instead of just trying to get your credit card or money out. And when I saw that there were people in same situation than me, and then they were through consistency, as in social media, for example, I was lucky in a couple of years ago in TikTok, got within, I have been posting there 2-3 years or even longer. Like I can't remember, I think over 3 years now, almost every single day. And I have been lucky enough to have now 300,000 followers, but all those followers came, or most of them came basically within 1 week from 1 or 2 posts. So it's just an example that consistency. If I would quit just before that week because I was thinking that nothing is working. Same thing with the Instagram happened a couple of weeks ago. I have been posting there a lot of, but then nothing like really you don't see a lot of results. And then was one post out of nowhere, which was basically similar to everything else what I have been doing, got 3 million views. I have 8,000 new followers just from one post. And if I would say that in that day, I'm just not posting, because you never know what is going to happen. But what I guarantee for you is that when you stay consistent, it will be a matter of time before you reach your goals. And whatever your goals, if it's your health goals, it might be like it almost always feels, or I don't know anyone who is telling that I'm not staying consistent, but I'm still reaching my goals a lot faster than I thought. Because honest truth is that most of us, we work so hard, we feel that we don't see enough results, or we should be seeing faster results. And then out of nowhere, it could be that, wow, holy shit, I got results what I always wanted. It might took you longer than you would like, but when you reach your goals, it doesn't matter how long it took. It doesn't matter. You look back, you are proud of yourself that you were finally able to do it. And these kind of things and struggles, when you have that accountability group or somebody who is keeping you doing those things, it's a life changer for those moments when you would normally quit and you wouldn't do it. But just when there is something external, what keeps you going, what keeps you talking out of yourself from that quitting, you keep going one more day, not aiming for perfectly, or if you fell off from bandwagon, you are getting back on it. And that's all what matters, because there is no timeline in this fitness journey, because it literally is a matter of time before you reach your goals until you don't quit. So this was episode for today. If you are interested, I will put it, my registration for my upcoming challenge starts right after New Year. So it might not be open yet when you listen this. If it's open, there's a link in show notes when it's open. I hope to see you inside. Within this challenge, you are, like I said, you are picking up one action-based goal or 2 or 3 or whatever, and you have a plan. I often recommend for people to picking some kind of aesthetic goal, or like strength-based goal or workout goal or something, and you might be working on towards fat loss at the same time, but that it's something with following these principles, that you have a timeline. So in this challenge, timeline is 8 weeks. You have that action-based goal. That if you are not sure, I will help you to create action-based goal, what makes sense for you at this time. You are setting that consistency goal based on those action-based goals, and then you are tracking your progress. So you have my workout apps where you can track your workouts, how much, if you decide to follow, for example, a strength training program, you have exact exercises, you can do them at home, at the gym, wherever you want. I created individual plan, and you are tracking them. You are seeing how much progress you are making. You are going towards your goals, and then you have that accountability. It's part of a Facebook group. I'm there, hang out with you guys, and supporting you, answering your questions, and we will have a lot of fun. So I really hope to see you inside challenge. Go to a link in show notes to register. On a wait list, so you are not missing out when it's going to be public. It's going to be early January, and in this challenge, I'm not able to take all people, so first serves first, and I hope to see you inside. So thank you for listening, and talk to you soon.
Hold up, friend. Do you love FitMitTuro Fitness Podcast? If so, the best way to say thank you is to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review on iTunes. I know every podcaster wants you to leave a review, but it's because those reviews help the podcast to reach more people. I truly want to know what you think, and if this particular episode resonated with you, would you also please share it? Either send a link to someone who you think will find it valuable, or take a screenshot and post it into your social media and tell your friends and family why they should listen it. Make sure you tag me so I can hear your feedback and give you a little love. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram or TikTok, that's the perfect time to hit that follow button. Thank you for being here and listening to FitMitTuro Fitness Podcast.